Hello everyone and welcome back to the Cook to Flourish Kitchen. This is Robin Cook and it is a joy to be with you today. Today we're going to be talking about different meal plan ideas to hopefully get some creative juices flowing so that way you can cook to flourish in your own home. So these are just some of our family favorite go-tos that hopefully will be a great blessing to you as well. So let's get started. So a few things that I like to always have on hand would be to have spaghetti squash. So who are my spaghetti squash fans out there? So if you like spaghetti squash, it is really helpful, say while you're getting ready in the morning, to take a whole spaghetti squash, wash it, and poke it really well once or twice, making sure that the knife goes all the way through to the center. That way, when you bake it, it won't explode. So I've had that happen almost once when it almost exploded that I didn't poke it well enough. So make sure that you poke it nice and good. You do not have to cut it raw in half. Leave it whole, just poke it really well once or twice. Put the whole spaghetti squash into the oven at 400 degrees, preheated. Just set it right on the oven grates. Leave it in there for about 45 to 60 minutes, depending on how big your spaghetti squash is. So this one here is a medium-sized one, and it took closer to 35 to 45 minutes. So just check it after 35 to 45 minutes. See if it's nice and done. If it is, take it out. If it's still kind of hard, just leave it there in the oven. Then you can take it and cut it in half. Much easier. You do not have to risk life and limb to open up your spaghetti squash. So then it's finished. You can let it cool. You can use it the next day, or you can use it that morning if you wanted to prep your lunch. So that way, if you cook your spaghetti squash ahead of time in the morning, or if you cook it while you're making dinner, then you're gonna have that ready. It's gonna be nice and easy for meal prep. So cooking these ahead of time really speeds dinner along nicely. So now that you have your spaghetti squash, what can you do with it? So there's many different things that you can do with spaghetti squash. You can put some baked chicken onto it. You can put roasted vegetables onto it. You can get some of the Costco already made organic marinara sauce. This is nice because it does not have added sugar. So this is the Kirkland organic marinara sauce. It goes really well with your spaghetti squash. You can also do, like I said, you could do some baked chicken onto your spaghetti squash. You can even build like a taco salad on top of spaghetti squash. So you can have your organic grass-fed beef that's already cooked. You can put that on top of your spaghetti squash instead of Spanish rice. That would be good. You could also build a stir fry on top of a spaghetti squash using some coconut aminos or the Bragg's aminos. Either one of those would be great. So let's recap. You can cook your spaghetti squash. You can put vegetables on it, like roasted veggies. You can do marinara. You can do taco salad. You could do baked chicken. So many different options. You could even just do some olive oil, salt, and pepper and use it as a side dish to, a salmon or steak or chicken, something like that. So there's spaghetti squash. That is a wonderful way that you can build a healthy meal. It's a great base. Now, if you are not a spaghetti squash fan yet, then you could do some banza pasta. Having this on hand can be very helpful. These here are the shells. They also come in spaghetti noodles. And of course, you can do a similar thing like the spaghetti squash. You can toss it with your cooked baked chicken. You could toss it with the marinara sauce. You could toss it with some roasted broccoli and some olive oil. That would be delicious as well. So you can have two different pasta bases, spaghetti squash or the chickpea banza pasta would be two really good go-tos. Now, what else can we do? We can get some cauliflower rice. So it comes in a freezer bag like this from Costco or from Aldi's. And so it's already like little bits of cauliflower called riced cauliflower. So a similar thing, you can do a stir fry with it using our coconut aminos. You could do it with some coconut oil, garlic powder, and parsley and sea salt. Just kind of doing like a little rice pilaf. You could even do some almonds on top of that for a little crunch, and that would be delicious too. So that's a nice way that you can use cauliflower rice. Now another fun way that you can use it is to put it into a soup. So if you have some good chicken broth that you have made or that you've bought from the store, making sure it does not have sugar, which is evaporated cane juice. Sometimes they sneak that into chicken broth. Isn't that crazy? And then also yeast extract. Make sure that those are not in chicken broth. So good organic chicken broth, then you can simmer your cauliflower rice in that broth and then scoop out the cauliflower rice, put it into a blender with about a half a cup of that broth and puree it. Now, you can do it just like that, or you could even add a tablespoon of the arrowroot powder to the cooked cauliflower rice and chicken broth. Puree that together for a nice creamy base. Put it back into the chicken broth and add cooked chicken. You can do some frozen peas, you could do some little carrots, and you then have a nice creamy soup with no dairy. How nice is that? So that is using your cauliflower rice, okay? So you can do a stir fry with it, you can do just a nice rice pilaf, or you can use it in soup, all with cauliflower rice. Another thing to have on hand that is very quick and convenient is a box of spinach or salad greens. So of course, having already washed greens makes salad come together in a snap. So you can just grab your greens, put them in a plate, and then you can just shred a carrot on top, chop some broccoli or some bell pepper, a squeeze of lemon juice and a dash of olive oil, and there you have a salad. Or of course, if you like to saute your greens, you can saute spinach in a little bit of chicken broth or in coconut oil or in avocado oil. Those would be wonderful as well. So there's your greens that you can get in very nice and easily. You could even put some greens, some spinach or a little bit of kale or Swiss chard into a like baked lasagna dish. So again, you can use your bonza pasta. You can do some grass-fed organic beef. You can put some organic marinara like from Costco, and then you can slice thinly some spinach and some chopped olives. Mix that all together, put that in a glass baking dish, 350 degrees for about 20 minutes or so. You can add some organic cheese on top if you want to. I eat mine even without the cheese. So if dairy does not do well with your system, don't worry about it. All of those flavors are gonna really come together nicely even without the dairy, okay? Now, another fun thing that we can do too is we can make some pesto ahead of time. So here's my pesto here. Especially in the summertime when basil is abundant, you can make big batches of pesto and freeze it in the freezer in little bags. And then when it's winter time or just whenever you have that craving for pesto, you can pull it out and break off a chunk, and then you can put that onto spaghetti squash. You could put that on bonza pasta. You could put it on a spiralized squash or zucchini. You could even toss it into some cooked cauliflower rice. So any of those would be beautiful bases to incorporate the pesto with. So adding flavor with pesto gives you a whole nother variety of dishes that you can create. So we've talked about spaghetti squash, we've talked about healthy pasta alternatives, we have talked about cauliflower rice, we've talked about having already washed greens on hand for convenience. Another great thing that you can have on hand too would be having frozen vegetables or already washed vegetables. So for frozen, sometimes at Costco you can get a big bag of organic mixed vegetables. So you can steam those, you could stir fry those, you could probably even roast them as well. They probably wouldn't get quite as crispy as a fresh vegetable would in the oven when roasting, but it would still be delicious. And so all you have to do to roast vegetables, whether they're fresh or frozen, I like to just add some avocado oil, about a tablespoon or two, toss that together, real sea salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Those are the 4 foundational ingredients to make roasted vegetables. So then you can incorporate different vegetables. Maybe one week it's mixed vegetables, maybe one week it's broccoli, maybe one week it's asparagus, maybe one week it's Brussels sprouts, bell peppers, you name it. So many different vegetables that you can rotate through your same protocol, your oil and your seasonings in the oven, but just cycle through different vegetables. So that way it's not chicken and broccoli all week long. So cycle through and see how you do with that. Another fun thing that you can do, you can take some bell peppers and some onions and you can make fajitas. So you can slice those up, you can saute them in a little bit of water first to get them softened, and then add a tablespoon or so of organic coconut oil. The coconut oil is great because it softens the vegetables, it coats them, it gives you healthy fats and it sweetens those vegetables, especially if you're not a huge fan of onions. You might like onions when you add the coconut oil to it. And then in our Cook to Flourish cookbook, we have a wonderful recipe for taco spice that you can add on to those cooked fajita veggies, and then you can add in your meat of choice. So whether that's already cooked chicken, or as the holidays come, if you have a lot of turkey that's left over, turkey fajitas are amazing. So you can take that leftover turkey breast or turkey thigh or wings, whatever you have, add that into your fajita veggies with the coconut oil and the taco spice, mix that all up together. It is fantastic. Super simple and delicious, and of course it's healthy as well. So those give you several different ideas that you can enjoy in your own kitchen, nourishing ingredients, whole foods. So I hope this has been helpful. Feel free to comment below whatever inspirations come to mind, or maybe you've tried something that worked. Please feel free to share. I would love to hear that. So thank you so much. God bless you, and may you cook to flourish. Bye-bye.